Good morning everybody and welcome back to another War Thunder video, and today I thought I'd take a look at the IS-4M. Now this is a vehicle that I don't see very much and I've only just unlocked and bought it. Now that may surprise some of you considering I have my T-64B, my Russian line for my ground forces at least is one of my most finished lines that I have in the game. However, I've been on the IS-3 for a while. Now the IS-3 and the IS-4M, to my mind at least, have not seemed to get a lot of attention. There is an argument to be made that meta vehicles in the game tend to be played the most, and that I would entirely support, in fact. Though the IS-3 stands out from the IS-4 in the sense that it's a 7.3 rather than a 7.7, which may not sound like it makes much of a difference, but as of late the Russians have actually accumulated something of a decent 7.3 lineup. You have the SU-122-54, the Object 906, which has recently had its reload buff to 4.3 seconds, which is utterly insane, but you can see my video on that thing for more information on that, and the IS-7 itself. Of course, the issue with this being you don't actually have an AA that you can use. I mean, you could use the ZSU-57 too, but that would just up tier you, so yeah, dealer's choice really. Then, however, we get to the IS-4M. Now, I've only just unlocked it, and I've played through my free repairs. I've just got my repair kit for it, or parts, whatever you want to call it. And I can't for the life of me understand why it's not played out more. Most of the games that I got into, I only saw one, maybe two other IS-4Ms on my team with me. So in this video I'm going to be taking a look at some gameplay footage, taking a look at the armor, taking a look at the tank itself, and asking why. So let's start with the stat sheet. This is not a review video, by the way, this is more of a debating topic video once again. 122mm D25T main gun, pretty much the same gun you've been used to ever since you've unlocked the IS-2. 2 12.7mm DSHK heavy machine guns, 50 caliber heavy machine guns. Turret rotation speed of 7 seconds, 7 degrees per second, which is pretty slow. A vertical guidance of -3 degrees and 19 degrees positive elevation. Now, the T-34-100 is probably the tank that I would point to as having the worst gun depression in the game, and it's the same as the IS-4s. The T-34-100, you can make it work. I mean, this is one of my favourite premiums in the game, if not my favourite premium in the game. But I've been playing it a lot, and I've kind of gotten accustomed to it over the years. Now, here we get to the point where I think it really does take the cake, is the reload rate. 24.2 seconds. Now, this is with a completely upgraded loader skill, as we can see here. I haven't bought a qualification for my tank for the IS-4. I don't actually tend to do that, mainly because getting Lions is an absolute ball ache nowadays, but armour we'll get into in a minute. Mass of 60 tons with a 663 horsepower engine, giving you, I'm not very good at maths, but I'm going to say that's just over 10 horsepower per ton. A max speed of 43 kilometers an hour, which it will do if going downhill, or if you throw it off a cliff. So let's take a look at the armour. Now then, being a heavy tank at 7.7, there is no reactive armour or anything like that on this tank. It is just rolled homogeneous steel armour, as you would expect. 140mm on the frontal plate. The side plates here, which were the weak spots on the IS-3 and the IS-2, the IS-3 to a lesser extent, but the IS-2 being the main example, have more or less been fixed on this tank. The hull, as a matter of fact, resembles the IS-6 very much. As a matter of fact, it almost is just an IS-6 hull, which begs the question again why this thing is not used as much as it should be, or as much as it could be. This is basically an automatic bounce zone, and the upper frontal plate is almost an automatic bounce zone in and of itself. 275mm of effective thickness is more than enough to deter most of the APHE rounds that will be fired at you at 7.7. Next, we have the front of the turret, which is made up of different layers, different pieces of armour, 170mm there, 250 on the outsides. The cheeks themselves are automatic bounce zones at most angles. Then we have the issue of shot trap. Should you fire a round at the bottom of the gun mantlet, it can ricochet through the top of the hull. I have had this happen to me. Shots have come in from about here, ricocheted into the top of the hull here, which is only 30mm thick. I have had that happen a few times, but not as much as that I would say that it's a general issue. 160mm on the lower front plate. Side of the turret, 200mm thick. Side of the hull, 160. Top of the turret, made up of different pieces, 170. 30 there. There is armour underneath this though, by the way, so bear that in mind. 150 there. Rear of the tank, 100mm thick there. 100mm thick there, 100mm thick there. This is an automatic bounce zone. If you are aiming at this angle and you hit that with anything other than maybe heat or HE, it's not going to penetrate, it's just going to bounce. Rear of the turret, 150, 170. So, how effective is the armour? We shall find out how effective the armour is in the gameplay. Now then, let's look at the modifications. What's the first thing you realise that this thing does not have? A heat round, absolutely. The best shell you get is the BR-471D, which is an armour-piercing ballistic cap round, which, as most Russian shells do at this tier, has an explosive filler. 223mm of penetration at 100 meters, 159 at 2000, both on a flat angle. At a 60-degree angle, we're looking at 99mm at 100 and 71 at 2000. This is not great, and the velocity of the shell itself is actually not that great either. It's 800 meters per second, which is not slow, but in comparison to some of the other tanks that you may drive at this battle rating, it does feel slow, which has made me miss quite a few shots in the past. So let's get into the gameplay. So the gameplay clip I have selected for this video is on the Tunisia map. Obviously we're driving out the IS-4 and I have decided to go towards the A capture point in the town. The enemy team has beaten us to it, which is no surprise considering the majority of them are going to be in Leopards. Hell of a lot more mobile and faster than we are. Now, I said that this tank can do 42 kilometers an hour if you throw it off a cliff. This is quite accurate. The most that I've experienced mobility wise and speed wise for this thing is as near as makes no difference around about 20 kilometers an hour on level ground on decent terrain. That's quite bad. Now, first hit I take is from a Leopard A1A1. I'm not sure whether he was firing Sabo, whether he was firing fin stabilised Sabo, but I would imagine that he'd be firing the fin round, or at least I would be if I had it, but I don't know what he was firing. Chances are though it was actually a fin round. He gets taken out by one of my teammates, which is nice. He should have rushed me really. He had a much faster reload rate than I do. My reload, as we found out in the hangar, is almost 30 seconds long. And anybody who's only just researched this tank, if you put it on a new crew slot, your reload is going to be around 30 seconds long, which I think is ridiculous personally, but it is what it is. So we take the opportunity to capture the zone. More credits and experience, the better the game is, obviously. I have realised as well, I'm going to just chuck this in the video here, that the amount of research I've been gaining, even in vehicles with a talisman, for capturing zones, as well as the Silver Lion reward for capturing zones, has been decreased quite a lot. The idea that Gaijin thinks they can balance the game by messing around with the ability to earn money is basically a nomenclature, considering that it just makes people want to spend more money, put real money into the game. Some of you might think, oh well, that's absolutely fine, after all the game needs to have some financial backing to actually be free. Yes, it does, but you should be able to earn lions at a decent rate doing well. I'm not the best War Thunder player in the world, I never claim to be and I never will claim to be. But if you have decent matches, even at 7.7 BR, you should be able to earn a decent amount of lions. I'm not experiencing that so much. I've recently been grinding through my Japanese tech tree trying to get to the Type 74 before they decide to add the new Tier 6 Japanese main battle tank. I've no idea what that's going to be. General rumour is it's going to be the Type 90, I think. But I've no idea what it's going to be. I'm quite looking forward to it, so I've been grinding through using my captured Tiger 1 heavy tank, the heavy tank number 6, and I've noticed a distinct difference in the amount of research and experience I've been earning from capturing zones in that tank, and that's at 5.7. I used to be able to earn 60,000-70,000 lions in a match, which in and of itself is almost more important than the research. Research you can get, you're going to get research no matter how good or bad you do. You cannot lose research on a vehicle, whereas you can lose lions. And I've noticed more or less that in the time it's taken me to research vehicles, I then have to spend another several days to maybe a week even grinding out the lions I need to be able to purchase and crew the vehicle, whilst having lions remaining for the repair costs after I've used the 10 free repairs. But I digress. Back to the IS-4. Now, we've captured the zone and we're heading towards the B capture point. There are vehicles in the general location, but we have no idea where. There's a Leopard 1 right in front of me. I think that may be an A1A1. No, it's not. It's a Leopard 1. One shot through the side of the turret, and the HE component in the shell doing its job perfectly there. I have actually managed to get a kill on a T-34, the American T-34 heavy tank that is, from the front by firing at the cupola. The round hit the back of the cupola, exploded, and the shrapnel went straight through down to the bottom of the crew compartment and took out every crew member and knocked the tank out in one shot. These shells may not have a lot of penetration and the tank does not get a heat round, but the shells are more than capable of doing their job should you know where to aim. Although they are more they can be succumb to bouncing more than a fin round or a heat FS round would be. So the question I asked at the beginning of this video, why is the IS-4 not played out as much as it should be? And I think I know why. It's slow, has really good armour, but the round is kind of meh. So why don't you guys give it a go if you have it, see how you get on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys in the next War Thunder video. Cheers.